much, Mr. Chairman. Let me reiterate the Chairman's thanks to you and your families for your willingness to serve some of the most important posts currently exist in the Foreign Service. Ambassador Brink, I wanted to draw upon your experience working in Slovakia. Slovakia is presently one of the countries that is raising some of the most vocal objections to the EU's plans to wean itself off of Russian oil. And, the reason is pretty evident. This is a country that is almost wholly dependent on Russian energy. I want to make sure that as a committee, we see the full picture of how you defend Ukraine. Certainly at the top of the list is sending the weapons they need to fight this fight and win it. But in order to keep Europe united, in order to press against the revenue sources that Russia uses to perpetuate this war, we have to be in the business of helping countries like Slovakia become energy independent. And so I wondered if you just might share with us a few of your thoughts, given your broad experience in a country that has remained dependent, as to the focus we should have, not just on the war in Ukraine, but also in this project to try to dry up Russia's revenue source in Europe.
Thank you so much, Senator Murphy. I'm so proud to be the President's representative in Slovakia at this time, a country of 5 million people on the front lines right now of Russia's war of choice in Ukraine. And you are correct that there is debate, an active debate within the government of Slovakia about how to become less dependent on Russia. But I would say, and what I know is that the political leadership has decided across the board in government that Slovakia must become less dependent on Russia. And it's a question of how to do it in the way that causes the least pain to the population. So Slovakia is nearly 100% dependent on Russia for all of its energy, for nuclear, for oil, and for gas. So it's a big challenge. There are U.S. companies trying to help Slovakia reduce this burden, and we ourselves have been raising this for quite a long time. You, Senator Shaheen, and others I know have long expressed interest in trying to do this. I myself, as a policy priority, and it is now that we have this opportunity. So supporting countries like Slovakia, I think, is critical. I just say a couple other things. Slovakia has received over 400,000 refugees from Ukraine, which is about 7% of the population. And as the First Lady saw just on Sunday when she was there, the Slovaks have opened their arms, their hearts, and their homes to these refugees in a way that is really remarkable. Refugees can come to Slovakia for a year and they get full benefits from the government, educational benefits. They're able to work. They're able to live in Slovakia. And also, I just want to highlight that Slovakia has been an enormous outsized donor of security assistance. And I'm really proud to have been part of this effort on the U.S. side with the Secretary of Defense and others, and ultimately our President, to provide Slovakia the backfill so that Slovakia could provide S-300 anti-air system. So in a nutshell, Senator, it's really important to keep supporting the frontline states, and they need help in various ways, but states like Slovakia have really stepped up, in my opinion.
Ambassador Richard, good to see you again. Thank you for your tremendous service in Lebanon. Thanks for welcoming me and a delegation there recently. I wanted to ask you a question about a January directive from Secretary Austin to strengthen efforts to prevent civilian deaths and improve the way that the DoD investigates claims of civilian harm in U.S. combat operations. And this is specifically relevant to drone strikes. You've served in Yemen. You know the reports of pretty significant civilian casualties of our drone operations. You've also probably seen research suggesting that in areas where we have had the highest level of drone activity, often terrorist groups have the highest level of recruitment success. Just want your commitment that you're going to work with the Department of Defense to ensure that we minimize civilian harm and also, in a very short amount of time, get your takeaways as to the upside and downside of our drone activities as a mechanism to combat terrorism.
Thank you for that question, and it's, as you know, an obviously very complex and fraught issue. I have worked with my DoD colleagues very closely in every assignment I've been in since in the last 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how hard this is, because there's the need to deal with an imminent threat, often against our own troops or our own American citizens, and the need to balance the civilian casualties. And I really welcome DoD's ability to look at this, accept that there's a problem, and really get after trying to figure out how to do it better. And so if I'm confirmed, I would really welcome working with them from the civilian side of the House on how to do that.
Thank you. Senator Portman is next.